Don't look down. This week we're taking to the skies with some very different bots who have one thing in common. These are the basics on the high-flying heroes who share the name Silverbolt. The original Silverbolt toy transformed into a Concorde jetliner. It was initially designed for the Japanese toy line Diaclone, but that series was cancelled before it could be released, and so the figure instead made its debut when it was repurposed to become part of the third year of the Transformers toy line in 1986. In addition to its jet mode, the toy could also convert into a base mode that connected to the Autobot city, Metroplex. Silverbolt was the leader of the Aerialbots, a team of 5 Autobot jets able to combine into the giant robot Superion. Silverbolt formed Superion's torso, while the other smaller Aerialbots formed his limbs. Marvel Comics writer Bob Budiansky wrote a profile for Silverbolt, giving him the most ironic trait possible for a jet. He was afraid of heights. He acted the part of a brave and serious warrior, but inside constantly struggled to not let his phobia overtake him. That was why Optimus Prime made him Aerialbot leader, to take his mind off his fears by giving him something else to worry about. Silverbolt and the Aerialbots were introduced into the Transformers animated series late in the show's second season. The team were constructed by the Autobots out of old Cybertronian aircraft. Silverbolt's fear of heights was blamed on the fact that he was made from a cargo transport that had operated only in low altitudes. Silverbolt's leadership of his team was initially a troubled one. In their earliest adventures, the other Aerialbots didn't think the Autobots and Earth were worth fighting for, and it was up to Silverbolt to convince them that they were wrong. After successfully getting the Aerialbots to see the light, and fighting through his acrophobia to foil a Decepticon plan to transform Earth into a metal world like Cybertron, Silverbolt went on to lead his team through regular appearances across the rest of the series, and the continued availability of their toys in 1987 ensured they were featured right up to its final episode. He and the Aerialbots also received a major marketing push in Japan, starring in several pieces of exclusive media, including the direct-to-video special Scramble City and the sequel series, The Headmasters. In the Marvel comic book, meanwhile, the Aerialbots were constructed from scratch on Earth, with supplementary stories from the British version of the comic explaining that the Autobots had been inspired to build them by a vision of the future from the mystical Matrix. Now, the Autobots only had time to complete Silverbolt's programming before the Aerialbots had to be sent on their first mission, and as a result, it didn't go well, with Silverbolt struggling to keep his half-programmed team under control. Once reprogrammed, the team starred in a few more adventures, until the discontinuation of their toys in 1988 led to them being dropped from the comic, the first of many victims taken offline by Starscream after he acquired cosmic power. However, in 1990, the Aerialbot toys were re-released in Europe and Australasia, resulting in the team being brought back online to star in new comic adventures, beginning with a traumatic spotlight story for Silverbolt in the British series that revealed how the other Aerialbots first discovered his fear of heights, after their minds merged when they combined into Superion. Silverbolt's toy was re-released again in 1994 as part of the Generation 2 toy line, sporting a new blue and red colour scheme and earning him a few appearances in Marvel's tie-in comic. After Generation 2, Hasbro began recycling Silverbolt's name, applying it to new characters unrelated to the original in order to keep their trademark on it active. However, during the 1996 series, Beast Wars, they made the odd move of reusing the name twice on 2 different characters, both members of the heroic Maximals. The first Beast Wars Silverbolt was an eagle, released in 1997 in a box set with the lion, Prowl, and the elephant, Ironhide, with whom he could combine to form the giant robot, Magnaboss. This trio didn't appear in any media at the time, but they've since featured in various stories in the 21st century, which have depicted them as the rulers of the Maximal faction. Some stories have even retroactively identified this Silverbolt as the original Aerialbot, who had traded in his jet form for a beast mode. In Japan, on the other hand, the figure was released as a totally separate character named Skywarp. Check out the basics on Skywarp for more on him. The second Beast Wars Silverbolt was released in 1998 and would go on to much greater fame as a major cast member in the Beast Wars cartoon. He was a Fusor, a kind of transformer with a hybrid beast mode that mashed up two animals, in his case an eagle and a wolf. This Silverbolt was a noble, chivalrous hero, so morally virtuous and pure, so dedicated to goodness and the defeat of evil, that even his friends thought he was a pretty corny guy. He began life as an embryonic robot called a protoform, one of many stored in stasis pods aboard the Maximal starship, Axelon, which were jettisoned from the craft when it was shot down by the evil Predacons and crash-landed on Earth. Silverbolt's pod fell from orbit at the start of the show's second season, but was damaged on impact and malfunctioned while scanning a beast mode for him, resulting in him coming online with his warped Fusor form and scrambled data tracks that left him unsure of his identity. As such, Predacon leader Megatron was initially able to trick Silverbolt into joining his side, but Silverbolt quickly realized he was meant to be a warrior for good, and defected to the Maximals. On one mission, Silverbolt wound up stranded in the wilderness with the Predacon femme fatale, Black Arachnia. Forced to work together to survive, the pair proved that opposites really did attract, as the White Knight and the Dark Damsel fell head over heels in love. They initially carried on an illicit affair, seeing each other behind their comrades' backs, the love-blinded Silverbolt even allowing himself to be coerced into helping Black Arachnia with her evil schemes, until he was finally able to convince her to let go of her wicked ways and join him on the Maximal side. In the 1999 sequel series, Beast Machines, the Maximals returned to Cybertron, only to find that Megatron had beaten them there and conquered the planet with an army of Viacon drones. Megatron captured Silverbolt and extracted his spark from his body, then implanted it in a new body to create the Viacon General Jetstorm, burying the noble Maximal's consciousness under Jetstorm's evil personality programming. Black Arachnia dedicated herself to rescuing her lost love, and after many attempts, she finally succeeded in freeing Silverbolt's mind and reformatting Jetstorm's shell into a new body for him, with a techno-organic Condor alternate mode. But Silverbolt wasn't the bot he had once been. Being turned into Jetstorm, being forcibly freed from his code of honor and made to revel in a life of evil, had deeply affected him, left him full of anger and darkness, questioning everything he had ever believed about himself. And so, it was now Black Arachnia's turn to lead him back to the light, just as he had once done for her. The Silverbolt toy released in the Beast Machines line was famously unpopular, an awkward, undersized, misshapen thing with a rainbow colour scheme that looked nothing like the cartoon. Though it was marginally improved for its release in Japan, where it was given new, more show-accurate colours. Now, it was initially planned to follow Beast Machines with a sequel series titled Trans-Tech, for which Silverbolt was redesigned into an alien jet. But this series was cancelled very early in production. Years later, the Transformers Collectors Club would use the Trans-Tech Silverbolt design for a different incarnation of the character, who hailed from an alternate universe where Cybertron had never gone to war. With Trans-Tech cancelled, Silverbolt's story instead continued in 2003's Transformers Universe, for which his original Fusor toy was re-released in a new purple colour scheme. The Universe comic published by the official Transformers convention picked up after the events of Beast Machines and saw Silverbolt reformatted into this form by exposure to the energies of the dark god, Unicron. Alas, these same energies corrupted Black Arachnia, turning her to the dark side once again and sending Silverbolt on a new quest to rescue his beloved from Unicron's influence. Beast Wars Silverbolt hasn't appeared much since Universe, his biggest role being a minor recurring part in 2014's Transformers Legends comedy manga. But in 2024, a brand new figure of him was released in the Transformers Legacy toy line, based directly on his appearance in the Beast Wars cartoon. The first series to take the name Silverbolt back to its roots was, surprisingly, the 2003 Playskool Transformers toy line, GoBots, which once again used the name for a heroic jet plane. This usage didn't quite stick though. As GoBots went on, its Silverbolt was renamed SILVERBOlt, and it was under that name that he appeared in the line's direct-to-video cartoon, unintentionally causing trouble on Earth when he accidentally whipped up a typhoon with his high-speed hotshot flying. After GoBots, every subsequent bot to bear the name Silverbolt has been an Autobot jet, either inspired by or directly based on the original Aerialbot leader. Notable incarnations have included a Silverbolt from the world of the live-action movies, who got a toy in 2009's Revenge of the Fallen line and appeared in 2011's Dark of the Moon video game, and the Silverbolt featured in the 2010 video game War for Cybertron, in which he and fellow Aerialbot Air Raid undertook a mission to bring down the Decepticon space station Trypticon. The 21st century has also seen the original Silverbolt continue to appear alongside his Aerialbots in media like mobile games and comic books from every major Transformers publisher, Dreamwave Productions, IDW Publishing, and most recently, Skybound Entertainment. He's also had multiple new toys, including a standalone figure in the Universe line in 2008, which reimagined him with a new supersonic bomber jet mode, and faithful updates of his original form released as part of new, fully combining versions of the complete classic Aerialbot team in both 2015's Combiner Wars and 2025's Age of the Primes. From Aerialbot to Beast Warrior and back again, Silverbolt is a name that's been shared by two equally iconic Transformers characters, who have both overcome their personal demons and won the hearts of those around them to soar to new heroic heights. And those are the basics on the bots called Silverbolt. Acrophobic Autobot or Fearless Fusor? Who's your favourite? More Transformers history and lore coming soon. Remember, if you become a channel member or sign up on Patreon, you'll get early access to all new episodes.